Welcome to stage 22. Stage 22 is called Defixio, which means curse in Latin. Defixio, the cultural thing we're going to talk about is Roman curses and curse tablets. This is always an interesting part of Roman mythology and religion, so this will be interesting to see. And we're also going to get introduced to another kind of participle, the perfect active participle. So in the last stage, we met perfect passive participles, like the one in that first sentence, Rex Romani honoratus semper fidelis manebat. The king, having been honored by the Romans, always remained faithful or always remained loyal. Now in stage 22, we're going to meet another kind of perfect participle, and we can see them here. They're going to seem very much the same. Wilbia culinam ingressa, sorori fibulam ostendit. Wilbia, having entered the kitchen, showed the brooch to her sister. Or senex deam precatus abiit. The old man, having prayed to the goddess, left. So you can see that the ones in boldface, these are active participles. They're perfect active participles. And like other participles, they're going to change their endings to match the noun that they're modifying. You can see examples of that there. Let's just look at a few of them in number 3 here. Modestus, tabernam ingressus, vilbiam conspexit. Modestus, having entered the tavern, caught sight of Vilbia. So we can see that the participle here is ingressus. It goes with modestus. You can see their endings match, right? A masculine singular, masculine singular. Or Vilbia, multa verba locuta, tandem tacuit. Vilbia, having spoken many words, was then silent. Or maybe Vilbia, after she spoke many words, or after she talked a lot, then became silent. Or mercatores, pecuniam adepti, ad naves contenderant. The merchants, having received the money, hurried to the ships, or to their ships. So we can see how, again, Vilbia locuta. Mercatores goes with adepti, or femina here goes with precata. So we see how the participles go with their nouns. And number 4 points out there are only a small group of verbs that have a perfect active participle. Most don't. The small group, we have a special name for them. We call them the deponent verbs. We're going to be talking more about deponent verbs later, but these are verbs that when you look at them, they look passive, but they actually have active meanings. Because they look passive, but they have active meanings, that's why they have no perfect passive participle. They have perfect active participles. So we can practice this a little bit. There's a worksheet I want you to do. You'll notice it asks you to translate. You don't need to translate the sentences. I just want to get you used to matching the participles with the noun they modify. So let's do let's do a few of these just to practice. Fur, senem, and then we need a participle. Post columnam se celavit. So let's just ignore the participial phrase for a second and do the thief hid himself post columnam, right behind the column. So this is going to tell us why. Our noun is fur. This is a masculine singular, so I need a masculine singular here. So we have locutus, egressus, precatus, conspicatus, right? These two are not. So my choices are these 4 here. This is speaking, the thief speaking to the man. I suppose that could work. Agressus means to leave or to depart. That makes no sense. Precatus is having prayed, and that would make no sense with the direct object here. Conspicatus means to catch sight of or to notice, which makes sense here, right? The thief, having caught sight of the old man, having noticed the old man, hid himself behind a column. That makes sense. We're going to cross out conspicatus here. Duo, Vilbia, thermas, and then says, bulbam umi acentem vidit. So Vilbia saw bulbous, and there's a participle telling us what he's doing, lying. And then umi here, this is always a hard word. I think it's a hard word. It looks like the word for water or for humid. Here it means ground, the soil. So she saw bulbous lying on the ground. So our noun is wilbia, which means I need a feminine singular. I have ingressa, adepta, and locuta. Ingressa means have entered, right? Wilbia, having entered the baths, that makes sense. Let's use ingressa. Wilbia, having entered the baths, saw bulbous lying on the ground. And now let's talk about bulbous, trace. Bulbous, and then de matrimonio, we need a participle. Nihil umquam effecit. So bulbous did nothing of any sort is umquam. So, and this is de matrimonio, you can see means about marriage. Bulbous is masculine singular. That means I need a masculine singular participle. You can have locutus, aggressus, or precatus. Precatus is pray, having prayed about marriage. I suppose that could be, but usually this precor usually has this idea of praying to something. Aggressus, having left about of marriage, that makes no sense. It must be locutus. Let's put locutus in here, and we'll cross it out. It says bulbous, having spoken about marriage, did nothing of any sort. So maybe to translate this better, maybe we'd say bulbous, although he spoke about marriage, nevertheless didn't do anything or did nothing. So why don't you all try the next 5? Why don't you fill those in, and you can start having a look at the chapter a little bit. So that's what I need you to do. So for next time, why don't you finish that perfect active participle worksheet and turn that in to me.